Welcome back. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Season 2 of the Bullyzone podcast. In case you don't remember us, I am Austin Largo.
And it's your boy Lance Winters, baby. This is episode 1, season 2. Thanks for joining us. Woo, the time is flown, hasn't it, ladies and gentlemen? Feels like it's been months, years almost.
September 17th. That was our last show. That was the end of season 1. It ended unexpectedly, but now we're starting, a little unexpectedly. They gave us the call. You guys are ready. We need you. Our ratings are dropping. They're plummeting.
Someone said, finances building now. We're in a new studio, by the way, guys, if you haven't caught up with us. We're pretty much renting out this place for free admission, so you're welcome. But with that being said, besides spending money on this place, we've just been hanging out. We've been going to shows still, documenting, doing what we do best, photography.
Yeah, check out Bullyzone Live on Facebook and Instagram. We still got plenty of pictures, plenty of shots, plenty of videos, plenty of all of that jazz. You can check it out. But, Lance, what have you yourself been up to besides doing the Bullyzone wrestling? What else have you've been getting better? You've been on that grind, my friend?
Yes. Just for everyone who knows, I stopped drinking. And I didn't think it was possible, but look at your boy. Lance Winters is going sober, baby. We're doing it clean. We're starting all over 2019. Who knows where this is going to lead me, man. But
I'm glad to hear that.
Not as boring as I thought. I'll give you that.
The world's your oyster. So, head back, shoot it. But I'm glad to hear that, my friend.
Thank you.
In my meantime, I've been practicing my martial arts, elbows and knees. I got all that down. So if anyone wants to come up to me at a show and test me, you will get my full attention, my 100%. I've been hitting the head a lot, so my memory ain't too good. So I'm going to forget I said that. I'm going to be like, why are you coming up to me? Just show me this clip from the podcast. I'm like, oh, yeah, I said that. And, also during this break, I lost my uncle. I don't know where he is right now. We lost him at Legoland, so I'm sure he'll turn up somewhere. I wish he had Snapchat so I can, geolocation him. But if he's anything like me, he'd be ghost right now. So we're looking for you, Uncle. We'll find you.
He's somewhere out there. He is somewhere out there having a good old time. I was somewhere out there traveling through Los Angeles. We were going through Barstow a couple times. What was one of your favorite places that you've been to since the podcast has ended? So you took a little break.
I'm really liking the way Barstow, D6, D6W, D6 Wrestling, Destination 6 has really been up and coming. They're putting on a great show every time, once a month. It seems like it's worth the drive to go out there.
Yeah.
It's worth the 2 hour. Some people are traveling, as far as San Diego to get there, to get booked, to put on an awesome show for the fans. It's really good for the community. There's not a lot out there in Barstow, so this is really something that fans and kids and anyone who has a down day can look forward to at the end of the month or whenever it is. We'll talk about upcoming shows, their next show coming up later in the show, but that's probably my favorite show right now. What about you, Lance?
I'm not gonna lie. End of the World took me by surprise. As you guys may know, that was our first show as Bullyzone, so going through it again was a little crazy, it was a little weird. You guys are probably used to right now, the talent, going through your first year, second year, third year, but this was a full circle coming back home, and being here at OCCW was great, and I'm glad to still be here, and you guys are welcome for the studio. But I'm more excited about the future. It's 2019, guys. It's time to take it full on. Yeah,
can you believe the Earth is 2019 years old now?
It's crazy, man. It's just, and when's it gonna stop? Nobody knows. 2019 years ago, the Earth was made.
Yeah, it seemed like dinosaurs were just, last year it seems like I was kicking dinosaurs off my front lawn. But enough of that. That's in the past. Dinosaurs are dead. They're in my gas tank. Let's get going. Let's talk about
the fans. How you guys doing today? Thanks for checking us out. Like I said, it's the first episode, so I really appreciate everyone. Mama Impact's watching right now. We got Paul Stitz over here. We saw you at the show last night, playa. And everybody else that's watching, thanks for tuning in. Make sure you share this. This is our first video of many. So as you were saying, boss.
Yeah, let's get into some of the shows we watched over this past week. We got it's more of a chore now having to watch the WWE products, Raw and SmackDown. So much so, I'm out doing my martial arts, getting knocked in the head, so I can't remember set my DVR to I'm recording a different kind of Raw, that XXX kind of stuff. But yeah, rest in peace, XX Tentacion. We'll see. I don't know if he passed on when we were out on break, but anyways, I know you've been catching up on your TV time, Lance. So give us a little quick rundown of Raw and SmackDown.
Well, it's crazy. Like I said, I haven't been watching any of this programming, like any about season 1, but I've been getting in on it. And just seeing Ambrose, Lashley, and McIntyre, they're like a new crew that's going on, taking on about Rollins, Cena, and Balor. Cena's got that new haircut that's been memed everywhere, the Wreck-It Ralph hairstyle.
Yeah, he's got that Wreck-It Ralph, JBL hair.
Yeah, I was going to say, but if you comb it to the side, it looks like the wrestling god right there.
Yeah.
It almost hits right on his face. Hogan came in. That was really interesting to see because last time I saw Hogan was, blackballed for some things. But he ended up coming out, having a little segment, a little memorial for me and Gene. He passed on as in between our podcasts. Lumberjack matches. Lumberjack match on Raw. That's crazy. Roode and Gable versus the Revival. Last I checked, Roode and Gable, when I last saw it, they were barely getting together. Jason Jordan was like walking out of the picture. So it's cool to see this team. They're very synchronized with each other, and they ended up taking the win. What else happened that was really fun? The main event happened. Ambrose versus Rollins. Last time I saw they were friends. Now they're enemies. They're friends. They're enemies. This time they're enemies over the Intercontinental Championship, man.
Yeah, they're kind of flip-flopping, like a couple of girls,
Mm-hmm.
Hey, what's up, girlfriend? And then, behind the back, oh my gosh, she sucks. She's such a, too much makeup, cake face. It's all that jazz. It's working for Ambrose, he's still got that IC title wrapped around his waist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he's got something I don't know. Yeah, I know everything.
He's winning. I don't know how.
Yeah, he must, during that time off, getting repaired for his injury.
We just started 3 to 4.
So go ahead.
That was pretty much the funnest parts I had. There's a moment of bliss moment that happened. It's kind of like Miz TV. So Bliss was right there having a little moment with Ronda Rousey. And, of course, they're talking about who's going to fight who. So Jackson Banks went at it to see who would be the contender for the women's championship match. And it turns out that Banks went over on Jax, and she'll be facing Ronda Rousey at Royal Rumble.
Yeah, we'll talk about the Royal Rumble next week. It's 2 weeks away. But that's a match I'm really excited for. Sasha Banks and Ronda Rousey. My money, I'm going to give it up to the actual fighter, and that is Ronda Rousey, Miss Rowdy Ronda Rousey, Triple R.
And it's been confirmed she is a Paul Heyman gal now.
Hey, Paul Heyman's kind of like Bill Belichick. He knows how to win. As much as I hate it, I will give him props. He is, he's got that winner's mentality, that winner's concentration, that winner's planning. So, if she's got the Heyman push, she might have a death grip on that women's championship.
But enough about Raw because I can go on it for 3 hours literally. Let's go on to SmackDown Live. Something cool that I've noticed, Daniel Bryan's gone heel. What's going on with that? He's super rude to fans. He's turning up. He's going over on R-Truth. Oh man, what's going on?
Yeah, Daniel Bryan. Keep to yourself. Don't tell me what I can and can't eat. If I want a steak, I want it raw. I want it cooked. As rare as possible. I want my steak still moving.
Shout out to Billy Bonds because he likes his steak still moving.
He's telling me don't waste all this. See this? See this? Yeah. He's gonna come out here and give me a knee. But guess what, Daniel Bryan? You're there. I'm here. Let's talk about it.
We'd love to have you on the show. Come on down.
I'm gonna use all the TP I want. I'm getting, triple ply using up a whole roll at a time. I'll flush it down the toilet. How it goes
Just like
right around the tube.
Everybody's got a cat. Everybody knows how it goes. And you get a little cat with some toilet paper and having a blast. You guys can't hear Lance. And our engineer is away, so I will be hollering like this. Can you guys hear me? You can see right there I'm a little low on my end, but anyways, SmackDown's going crazy. We got Mysterio going on against Samoa Joe and Cien Almas. This guy moved on from NXT. The same with Mustafa Ali. So it's pretty cool to see them onto the main roster. You know, they're being supported by the likes of Samoa Joe and Mysterio. So it's cool to see that. But it turns out your boy Cien Almas picked up the win with his nice signature, what is it, a little cradle DDT?
Yeah, he's got that hammerlock DDT. Yeah, he did pick up the win. Am I right?
Yes, he did.
And after that, he's getting a one-on-one match with Mysterio this Tuesday. So I'm excited to see if he can carry on that win. You know, keep that ball rolling. Maybe start a new streak. You know, he's been on he's been picking up quite a bit of L's. But I know he has so much more potential, so much more talent than, you know, probably 2/3 of the roster, that SmackDown roster. And I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a world championship opportunity sooner than later.
Oh yeah, definitely. At the rate he's rising, baby. Woo! And the fun part about him is when he was going against Rey Mysterio, they were both at the luchador level. They were both super athletic. He was keeping up with Mysterio, you know, who's known to be a legend in the lucha community. So it was super cool having that. What's up, Joey the Bull? Oh, Michael, it's not off. It's on, ladies and gentlemen.
Rest assured. Oh, there you go. Blown out. Can you guys hear me now? All right, ladies and gentlemen. As I'm talking about SmackDown Live, we got the Bar and going up against the Usos. The Usos wanted a chance at the titles. It was not happening for them, baby. They got shut down real quick. And my last little SmackDown note, you got Becky going up against Carmella and Charlotte in a triple threat match. How do you think that one played out?
If I had to put money on it, I would give it up to the genetically superior Charlotte Flair. You know, she's standing about 5'10", you know, probably $180. And most of that's just some straight muscle. You know, she probably got the deepest moveset. So, I could be wrong, because in a three-way match, it can go either way. You don't have to be the one taking the pin to lose. But if I had to...
And you don't have to be the one doing the finisher to win.
Exactly. So, go ahead and lay it on us. Who picked up that win and who's going to... It's for the number one contendership, am I right?
Yes, for
Asuka.
Asuka.
Who's taking on Asuka?
Well, it turns out Becky's going up against her. She's got that push. She's got the momentum. She's got that stride going her way. She was very much taking advantage of the situation. You know what I mean? She was hitting Charlotte very hard. She was doing her best to make it a one-on-one, throwing Carmella out of the ring when she could. But in the end, she just had to. What was her move? The arm breaker.
Well, she got that disarmer on her.
There you go.
Her.
What's going on, Mr. Desire? Thanks for checking us out today. This is the first episode of Bullyzone Live. We're talking about Becky Lynch over here going over on Charlotte and Carmella this past Tuesday.
I'm not a big fan of Becky Lynch. Hate me. You know, I don't like the man. I wish this man would go away. You know, it was nice when the brand split happened again, and she had her 15 minutes to start off. She was the first SmackDown Women's Champion, and then she fell off, and that was probably the happiest I've been watching SmackDown. And now she's the man. She's got a main event. She does a main event. We're gonna take over the show. We're gonna boo. We're gonna woo woo woo. Becky Lynch can shove it for all I care.
There you go.
She's the man. She talks like this. I'm from Ireland.
Well, I think it's a little offensive to some of our fans and viewers. So
I got some Irish blood in me, Lance. I'm sure you didn't know that, or Scottish or something. I got some white blood in me, so I think I have the right.
Some red blood
to be calling these people out.
You know
Becky Lynch, let's send her to the back of the line. But so what would you rate SmackDown? What would you say was the better show, Raw or SmackDown?
Yeah, I was going to say the best way I can say it is maybe Raw would get 1 thumb up and SmackDown gets 2 thumbs up. SmackDown's looking a little more exciting. Raw still continues to be the talk show, but it's an hour longer, so you got to fit all those promos in. So it's a lot, especially if you watch it live and you're not fast forwarding through it. But, oh, my God, it's Joey the Bull and everybody else watching. Thanks for tuning in, guys. So, like I said, I like the whole SmackDown angle. I like the whole Daniel Bryan going all raging on everybody. I like the whole Becky Lynch. Maybe they'll team up and go up against somebody. Who knows, man? It's crazy. It's a crazy first week in wrestling here at the WWE division. You been watching, catching up on your WWE?
Only on the network.
Yes.
Because, like I said, I ain't got time for those, Monday through Friday shows. The weekends, that's when I got time. And especially, they just rolled out their first ever NXT UK TakeOver Blackpool. Woo, 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 woo. I don't even know where that is. That's like a 5-hour plane trip. So, I got to watch some of that. I was really taken out of it. Just, it's like they're speaking English, but they're off. They're calling, put your stuff in the bin. You know what the bin is? That's their trash can. They got different words for all this. Their chips are fries.
You get lost in translation.
Their telly is our TV. It's like, just, if you're going to speak American, use the actual American lingo. It's not a celly. It's a cell phone, smartphone,
it's an iPhone.
It's an iPhone.
It's an iPhone. If it's not an iPhone, what do you
if it's not an iPhone X, just get out. But what I did watch, I was able to watch, the first 3 matches or whatever. It was, Mustache Mountain taking on the Grizzled Young Feds, Zach Gibson and James Drake, for the first ever NXT UK Men's Tag Team Champion. That's a mouthful, isn't it?
Yeah, already.
Yeah. Those Grizzled Young Vets picking up the win. I don't know these guys, but they put on a great show, so they're on my radar now.
If you guys know those guys, drop down in the comments how you felt about that match. Give us a little intake on how you feel about it.
We also had, Jordan Devlin, is that his name? It was looking like a big-headed Finn Balor taking on Travis Banks. He attacked him before the show in the hotel lobby. Banged him up a good bit, and then when the actual show started, he jumped him again. Banged his knee on the steel step. So he had no match for the night. But luckily, we got some quick thinkers. The general manager and assistant planned ahead. And you know who they had on backup?
Who would be on backup at UK TakeOver? Wherever they were at. Liverpool.
Finn Balor.
What?
Yeah, I'm not the biggest Finn Balor fan. I like a big guy who can, actually
power through somebody.
Yes, power through, lay to hurt. But I will say I was quite excited. You can say I marked out. I didn't know this. Finn Balor trained this Devlin big-headed Finn Balor guy. Finn Balor picked up the win as he should. If he would have lost to this, NXT UK guy, I would have been, how is this guy our first ever Universal Champion?
Yeah,
he's losing this guy. And then the next match was a no disqualification against this fat guy and this tall, skinny dude.
There you go. That's something I can relate to. I can see that picture now instead of King
cool,
James
man.
English.
Yeah, the Bomber. That's the fat guy's nickname.
Oh, perfect.
The Bomb, Matt Stiff, something like that. He picked up the win with cannonball through a table in the corner. And after that, like I said before, they're speaking English, but they're off. So I had to, just turn it off and get ready for, Cage Match 3. Which
pounding it out? You mean giving out money? What are you talking about, Joey the Bull? You better watch out. This is a PG-17 show.
So let's get into Cage Match 3. That was the show we were at last night. We have pictures, going up this week. And we have lots of videos on our Instagram live story. So go to Bullyzone Live on Instagram. Check out some clips of that.
But hurry up because those things are going to expire in like 2 hours. Once they're gone, they're gone. So you can check out all the highlights from the show up close and personal. But getting into it, what a way to start the show. In between podcasts, Othello injured his quadricep and had to get it surgically repaired. If you guys don't know, Othello's a 7-foot tall LA assassin who just happens to be the OCCW heavyweight champion. So you know a lot about injuries. You know what that does to a guy. You can't compete. So instead of having the title stripped from him, he decided to vacate the title so he can have a chance to get it back once he's all healed up.
Yeah, so Othello has never lost a championship match, as he can say. He never lost that championship title. So he better be that first contender when he gets healthy and returns to the ring. If not, there's going to be a riot. But we'll get into the championship match that happened that night.
Which almost ended in a riot.
But, starting off the show, we had La Raza They weren't scheduled for a match, so Mr. John Malice gave them a match against each other. And being the brothers they are, they duked it out for a bit. It looked like Alexander Vega had the upper hand. But, as a good brother does, picked up his brother, Freddie Flores, and they both stepped out the ring together, making it a no contest. You can't beat your brother like that. You can rough each other up, but you're not going to take a win over your brother.
Mm-hmm.
I really respect that from Alexander Vega. So,
but the question is, if it was on the other hand, because I've seen Freddie Flores throw his partner to the dogs to get a win. But that's just speculation, of course. It's only a couple of matches I have recorded on Instagram.
We'll have to see what happens at the next show. But
that's not a good way to start the year, though, is to go up against your tag team partner. You want to start the year off strong together in unison, not falling apart. So it seems like they walked off with their heads high at the end of the day. Shout out to Wrestling California. And we walk into our next match, which was Alan Amos versus Chris Camacho versus the Destroyer Malcor.
yeah, this is a fun triple threat match.
What's up, Nicolette?
Malcor picking up the win, as anyone would think. The big guy, the biggest guy in that ring at that time, and installed Steel Cage. A good win for him.
With two, it was like a Tony Ray's and two Rudies in the ring, and it was not a good time. It was fun to see. They put on quite a show, but at the end of the day, Malcor really was pissed about the fact that they were selling off his mask and they were on the hunt for him, making all these jokes online. Turns out Camacho and Amos weren't able to, stick to their guns, and Malcor was able to deliver his destroyer on both Amos and Camacho for the win.
Next up, we had, the young guy Voodoo Master taking on the veteran Vintage Dragon. And once again, all these matches were in a steel cage.
Shout out to Voodoo Master, just logged in. You came in just in time, buddy.
Go ahead.
Going up against Vintage Dragon. I got a chance to talk to this man about 2 weeks ago, as I was at NutriShop in Long Beach, ladies and gentlemen, hanging out with the Voodoo Master himself. We got to talking. Last year, he was going in a triple threat match with Angel and Drew Masters, and now he's going up against a one-on-one match with the guy who just almost had a chance of beating Othello, Vintage Dragon. It's crazy. It was nuts to say the least. But he never looked nervous. He was full of confidence and dark magic. But it wasn't enough to hold up against the spectacular Vintage Dragon. Incredible high spots. That drop kick from the top was amazing. But at the end of the day, what was it called? You run to the same move a couple times, your partner's going to get aware of it.
Yeah, you go to the well one too many times.
There you go.
It's going to come back to bite you in the butt, just like a lion. And that's how Vintage Dragon picked up the win with the Lion Tamer. Pulling out a classic Chris Jericho move. Picking up that win by submission in a steel cage. It really shows what kind of worker and veteran that Vintage Dragon is exactly, when you can pull out any kind of move to pick up a win. He doesn't have his one go-to move that he has to hit, or he doesn't have that confidence that he can put away his opponent for the 1-2-3. That's what I see with a lot of these young guys. They could have the match won already, but they get into their own heads that if they don't hit their big move, their winning move, that they're not going to get the 1-2-3. You got to take risks. Sometimes you don't win with your, top rope splash or whatever you got, your big knockout punch. Just go for the pin every time. If he looks like he's got his eyes rolled back, go for the pin, go for submission. And that's exactly what Vintage was able to do and pick up the win. So I'm glad to see him back, the first ever Bushido Cup champion. I'm really hoping we can see a lot more of him in
2019.
Exactly, 2019. Not just OCCW, but all over California. Next up, we had Danny Lamlight and Amazing Jr. for the Gold Coast Federation Championship. This was probably my match of the night, wouldn't you say?
Oh, yeah. That was pretty explosive, ladies and gentlemen. You got Danny Lamlight, who happens to be the GCF heavyweight champion at the time. Yeah, by the way, guys, he had limited edition shirts that are never going to be sold and printed again, and we both got one, so.
I got mine in a large. Now, look at me. I am not a guy who wears a large, but this is the motivation I exactly need to get to that gym, hit the treadmill, do the elliptical, do all that crazy mumbo jumbo cardio. You're talking about cardio? That's what I need to get into that large, to get my pants back down to a 32. So Danny Limelight, thank you. It's gonna push me. I want that Danny Limelight body.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. And who wouldn't? That man's spectacularly gifted with athleticism, strength, and endurance as he went on with his buddy, Amazing Junior. And the disrespect at the beginning of the match, man, can I tell you? GCF representative Jamal came up in just to, break bread, say what's up, going on, how's it doing? Bam, super kick to the face. Because it turns out Limelight don't work for him. He don't work for the representative. He works for the guy who holds the money. And that's just another prime example or prime detail of Limelight that I appreciate. You know what I mean? He doesn't have time to go in circles and talk legalities and talk basic. No, he wants to get paid, get in, and get out.
Now, Limelight, he's from New York. He's from Brooklyn. So, and you know who else is from New York? Wu-Tang Clan. You know what they always say? Cash ruled everything around me. Cream, that's the motto. Yeah. So
Dollar bill.
Yeah, exactly. So Danny Limelight, he's all about that cash, ruling everything around him. If you got the top dollar, he'll come work for you, and he'll probably win your top title as well. How many titles he's got? He's got 4 right now.
4 titles.
He's gonna be in the, Heartbreak City Rumble. We'll get more than that later. For number 1 contendership. So we'll get into more on that later as it comes, closer in the calendar year. But keep your eye out on that. It's coming around in February.
The 23rd.
But needless to say, Limelight was able to pick up the win. He's still your GCF championship holder, with the big Spanish fly off the top of the cage.
Spanish fly, that was Maximum Spider, baby. That was ridiculous. And it was right in front of me as I was looking up on the cage, man. I didn't know how I was going to finish. I thought Amazing was going to, because Amazing was already halfway over. I thought he was just going to fall on top of me and claim the win. But Limelight hopped up, grabbed him, and like you said, took him for a fly, man. And it was spectacular. You guys can check that out on the Instagram story. That's going to be on for another hour or two before it gets erased.
Yeah, and that's at Bullyzone Live. And check out photos from the shows we've been to. You'll see photos from this show as well on Facebook at Bullyzone Live. But let's get into the next match that happened that night. We have Max X taking on Daniel Moon. Now, I know you're a huge fan of Daniel Moon.
Yes.
And what's his theme song? It was in my head. I didn't know the name of it. I didn't know how it goes. But the whole crowd was singing along with it. It was like, oh, yeah.
And that's the worst part, is that it's one of those songs that everybody knows, and then when it comes time to naming it, it's like it slips your head. But I know the name of the song. I know the artist. I know the band. I know the group. I know the whole sensation. But do you guys? Anyway, it was fantastic, man. Dan Moon's always bringing that heat. He's always bringing that flavor. I'll vouch for that, man. Coming from MPW down to OCCW, and he's shaking things up. You know what I'm saying? He got to go up against Max X. We formerly know him as Max X from a little feud we had last year, but we look past that now. He's working with Exodus, one of the newest members, and it was pretty even back and forth for the most part. Almost looked like he had Moon out at one moment, but
yeah, at one point, Daniel Moon went on top rope, went for a crossbody. Max X will sniff it out, hit him with that forearm, and busted open. Must have.
That's what knocked him. Yeah.
Either got his nose or busted his lip open. Daniel Moon was cut pretty bad, had some blood flowing, and I think that adrenaline just pushed him to pick up the win.
Yeah, dude. So imagine doing a crossbody and getting punched in the face, and you're all bloodied up. What's the best way to get back at him? Do a crossbody off the cage, almost knock him out, and then go for the 1, 2, 3. And like you said, he had so much adrenaline in him. He was running around the ring right after. He has like 6 victory laps. The crowd was loving it. It was crazy. You guys can check it out online. But
he
man,
had a girl in the crowd, so I think he just didn't want to lose in front of his girl.
Nobody ever wants
exactly.
to,
That's a great motivator. You ever have something you need to get done, have your girl behind you. She'll be nagging you to get it done. But congrats, Daniel Moon. We hope to see a lot more of you. I'm sure, he picks up a couple more wins. I think he should be next in line for the OCCW championship.
Oh yeah,
We can talk more about that later, but definitely we're both on the Daniel Moon train.
Yeah,
Right?
that's agreed upon.
We're both on Daniel Moon rocket, headed to the moon.
There you
Is that a
go.
little better. Next up, we had probably the longest running feud in OCCW history, as long as we've been there. Freddie Havoc versus Freddie Helmuth.
5, if you guys are counting.
There were a lot of chivers there that night. What is a chiver? I thought a chive was a little green thing on the burrito.
Like an onion, yeah. And it turns out to be like a flamingo. I don't get it. I'm still lost.
I think all those people, they were all drinking that night, so I don't think they were too aware of what a chiver really is. But, I'll give credit where it's due. He did have most of the crowd in his chiver gear. So that really probably gave him the motivation it took to go in there with this madman, Freddie Helmuth. We know he's from the gutter. To live in a gutter, that takes, you have to have a screw loose in your noggin.
Yes, you got to be a little dirty and foul too, especially how you play. Because when they're in that cage, man, and there's no rules, it started out with Helmuth just banging on Havoc with that stick, man. And then there was a point where Havoc was trying to crawl out, and Helmuth wasn't having it. And bam, another low blow. And it just goes to show the tactics, that Helmuth will go to, as he quote-unquote, make you bleed, which he was successful. But, as everybody knows at the end of the match, he was unable to pick up the victory. So, who knows if the rivalry is still on? They both think they win. Havoc thinks he wins because he walked out of the cage, and then Helmuth thinks he wins because he made Havoc bleed. So hopefully this is a nice little bow on the present that they gave us, which is Havoc Helmuth 5.
I definitely thought when Havoc was busted open, I thought, he was going to panic. We recently saw that with David Arquette. He got busted open and he started to panic. But, we've talked to Freddie Havoc before. We've had him on the show before during season 1. And he had told us what it's like to be busted open. And so, knowing that you've been busted open before, it's just another thing you get through. After the show, he looked fine. He just had it bandaged up, probably had stitches under it. So, to his credit, he's a tough SOB. But I hope we have, one more match just to end it all, settle it down the middle. Maybe, Falls Count Anywhere match. Wouldn't that be fun?
That'd be fun.
Between the two of them. But, Freddie Havoc picking up the win, safe in the cage like a little,
weasel he is. That's why he didn't come tune in today. He knows that I've been giving him heat because he watches another program which happens to run tardy, and I told him I'd run specifically at 3 o'clock just so he and his 600 Chiver friends can tune in. And as you can clearly see, Havoc is not a man of his word. But that's fine. Moving on, we had an intermission. It was time for everybody to relax, stretch their legs, listen to Joey the Bull stumble over the Baby Shark lyrics. Him and DJ SoCal, shout out DJ SoCal for not having Baby Shark available as he was spinning the ones and twos all night. What else was memorable? Mama De La O had her signature, not meatball subs, but she had her tamales. That was a nice little treat, nice little switch up.
I prefer, a hamburger or a hot dog versus a tamale. It's just right where in America. It's not, you don't get a tamale at the ballpark. You get a hot dog. It's not a Dodger tamale, it's a Dodger dog. So we're at an American Legion post. Let's get some hot dogs and let's crack the grill open. I'm good for a couple hamburgers.
I've been to a couple of WWE shows, and I can't say that I've seen tamales on that menu list.
Exactly. WWE, that's an American promotion.
We got Alan Almost tuning in. What's going on, buddy? Shout out to Drew Masters tuning in. What's going on, buddy? Joe Gonzalez. We're going to be talking about Destination 6 at the end of the show. We're going to wrap up. But yeah, dude, we're just having a great time right now. This is episode 1, season 2. We're back at it, ladies and gentlemen, covering all footage of Southern California. And we're just going over the end of OCCW. Now, we had this tag team match, and we came back from break. And that was Team Exodus versus Team OC, right?
Yes. Team OC comprised of Mikey O'Shea and Azrael. Team Ginger, I like to say. I was really, hoping, yeah, this was going to be a tornado tag.
Yes.
Be inside a cage. I don't know how you can. You can't really enforce any rules such as you have to stay in your corner. But
No countouts either. No hold breaks.
yeah, exactly. So I was hoping this be a tornado tag nonstop action. Unfortunately, it was a standard tag team match. They weren't able to, or the ref didn't have to count. Give them a 5 count break hold. So that was fun. Exodus. There really is strength in numbers because Exodus, it was Tony Reyes and Bulletproof fighting on behalf of Exodus. They had Max X and Auntie Heidi on the outside. And late in the match, Max X handed Tony Reyes a signature Billy Club or
Nightstick, yeah, baton,
He
whatever
was
you call
able
it.
to use that because if a lot of you don't know, before he had the bull rope and bell,
Mm-hmm.
he was using a nightstick. So that was a nice callback, throwback, throwback Saturday.
It's a vintage Tony,
Tony, yeah, Michael Cole. He was able to, crack Azrael over the head and retain his tag team titles. This is a team I really want to see. Take on all comers from all over Orange County. And after that match, we had La Raza coming out to check on Team OC. Ended up attacking them. Exodus was cool about that. They're like, yeah, just lay it into them more. They got attacked by La Raza. So La Raza, they had their eye back on the tag team titles. They want that gold back.
Well, yeah, dude, you got to stop and think. Like, if I had a moment to, have my little segment, let me just tell you right now, La Raza was the most dominant tag team from day one, ever since we stepped into this foundation a year ago. And they've been holding their championships against people that work in the dojo, people that were outgummers. We were going against everyone that was ready for it, and they were winning. They were successful, and they just dropped now, and you think this is it? They dropped their titles once to Camacho and Masters. I'll give them that. But wasn't not 1-2 shows later, they got it back.
Yeah, we were there the night they actually won against, I think, the original Team OC. Jonathan Malice and Tony Reyes.
End of the world.
End of the world.
Full circle. So, if anything, ladies and gentlemen, La Raza's time is coming. They're a dominant force. They're no paper champions. They were never paper champions. And they're going to prove it whenever they get that chance to take on Team OC. Who do you think has a chance of taking on Team OC at this point? Have you seen their dominating force? Yeah, you know Mikey, Azrael. They're good soloists. They're good when they work together. They still weren't able to take on Team OC. What kind of group or faction? Who do you think has the best odds? Like anywhere.
I would like
Indy,
to
of
see
course. John Cena.
AK Rambe.
There you go.
They're always good. They always seem like they can win anywhere they go. Felines, I have them in recent memory. I'm growing the cats.
There you go.
I've always been a dog person, but cats, you can't sleep on them because you know what a big cat is? A lion. I think they have that lion heart to win, tag team gold in the OCCW. So let's bring the felines over, and let's see what they can do. Mixing up with Exodus. Anyone you got in mind?
I mean, if we're talking anybody in mind, like I said, like Cena and Rollins would be cool. In the independent scene, though, I like to see the odds, be stacked in the favors. Let's get some factions going on. I know Chris Bay, Sway Thompson,
Bag Boys.
the Bag Boys. Let's book them. Book the Bag Boys.
Bag Boys. They got that gold. They got them grills. Ooh, icy.
Looking nice. Marlon's over
I
here
see why.
because I'm so nice.
I see why.
Because I'm so nice and shiny. We got Marlon over here suggesting the felines as well. He's a fan, hailing from D6W. The felines comprise of Osiris Mittens and Senior Buttons. They're a great duo.
Let's get on to the main event of last night's action. For the OCCW Championship, we had B.A. Marcus Frey representing, the franchise players. Franchise players, that's how you say it. It's not players, it's
Players.
Players.
With the head turn, let them know what time it is. But yeah, that B.A. Marcus Frey, that guy.
Wakanda forever, my brother. Taking on Goose and Uberstud. It was cool. The support that Goose and Uberstud was able to pull in. It was probably 50% of the crowd decked out in Gusten Uberstud gear, that like Danny Limelight said, that ugly red shirt. But yeah, I'll give him his credit. It helps when you got that support, that back in there. But enough about his crowd that was there. Let's talk about his work in the ring. I thought B.A. Marcus Frey started out real strong. He knew that he had to represent. He knows if he loses this match that he's in trouble when Othello gets healthy. Because you're not going to beat Othello on a good day. He might have a chance now that Othello only got one working leg. But still, I'd still give.
You want to risk it? You know what I mean?
I want to risk it. It's still 7 feet of pure muscle. But B.A. Marcus Frey was, had a lot of control. Start off, he's been in the main event, because he's been riding Othello's coattail, because they're franchise players. They've been in, main event tag team action against Mikey O'Shea and Azrael. But Gusten, I think it was that crowd support that pushed him, and it helped. He's been, riding around with Hilda, right?
Yes.
Brow.
Hilda Wildschein, the good old brow.
This picture. We'll talk about this in a bit. Yeah, she was there. At one point, B.A. Marcus Frey tied up Gusten with a zip tie to the cage, and Hilda saw this opportunity. She came out with this, canister. I thought it might have been a canteen or a thermos, some milk or protein powder for
yes.
Mr. Gusten Uberstud. No, it was a hairspray jar. Sprayed it right in Marcus Frey's face.
Uncalled for.
And it is a cage match, but the action is supposed to be inside. There's no outside interference. That's why there's a cage. Keep everything outside and everything inside. Gusten was able to take advantage of that. A couple near falls, but at the end of the day, Gusten hit that
sweet move.
That
knee breaking, face flipping.
That 28-step move. The new OCCW champion.
What? That's right. Who would have thought?
I would have preferred B.A. Marcus Frey, just because I want an American man to hold this American title.
At this American Legion post.
Exactly. Gusten Uberstud, what kind of name is that? Polish,
Norwegian.
German, Norwegian.
Finnish,
something like that.
Dutch, who knows?
28 consonants before a vowel comes in. But, Gusten Uberstud, let's see what he can, do for the next, how long is he going to be able to hold this? Who's his next challenger? We're going to have to wait and see. But
yeah, it's undeclared. Getting into a little bit of that Danny Limelight situation, he declared since he won his match, he wanted to be number one contender. John stated that to be number one contender, you'd have to be in this upcoming tournament. With that being said, if there's a tournament coming up at the next show, who's gonna
Heartbreak City Rumble? Yeah.
Yeah. So who's gonna be facing the champ? Is he gonna have an off day on his first show? So that leaves things to the questions. I guess you guys are going to have to tune in to the Royal Ramble every Tuesday here on the Free Admission Channel. At 9 o'clock, you can see John Malice here and his nasty little pet, Joey the Bull. They're over here on the ones and twos with DJ SoCal, hanging out, talking all things wrestling. Maybe they can fill us in later this week.
That's a while away. That's not till next month. So when it comes around, we'll speculate who's going to be in the Rumble and what other possible matches will be there. But, that's all the action from Cage Match 3, that happened last night. So definitely, if you're in the area, check out, Orange County Championship Wrestling Show. Check out their new champion, Gusten Uberstud. But that's a while away. But let's talk about some things that we didn't get a chance to talk about on the Bullyzone podcast while we were away.
Some trending topics, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, the first thing I really want to get into is probably the most recent. Well, before that, let's talk about some of the shows coming up. So we can, because I got a couple flyers to hand out. So, what's the first show? There's a couple shows happening this weekend. So if you're not in that area and you're in that area, make it out to at least one show this weekend.
That's right. We got Super Awesome Showdown. It returns Neo Genesis. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be January 19th. Showtime starts at 8 p.m. at the Tango Del Rey in San Diego. It's great, man. You can see a whole bunch of talent. It's like the universe reset on itself. So everything that happened last season, throw it out the window. We're revamping everything.
Kid Knight is champion, right?
Yes, sir.
On that battle grid.
On that battle grid, not in that ring, but that battle grid, baby. So the universe is on its way to being reset. Last time we checked, Vic Valentine was willing to destroy the world with that Quasar Codex. Not championship, it's a Quasar Codex. You got to get that right. And
What, Quagmire Kodak? What?
a Quagmire Codex.
I want that collab ASAP. Get them in the booth.
That's a late night show. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, Kid Knight was able to successfully defeat Vic Valentine, making sure the world didn't get destroyed, or else we wouldn't be here today. But he's able to reset the timeline. Everything's going great. And who knows what's going to happen. I love this place. The talent's awesome. Some of them come from the Level Up Pro Wrestling School, which is right down its way. That's in the San Diego area, as you can tell.
There you go. Yeah, they
So-
got their own, scene down there. So if you're in that area, check them out. You can probably go to the Lucha show.
Baja Stars is down there as well. It's
Yeah.
going to be going this weekend. I believe Ground Zero is going to also have Reloaded. I believe that's going to be this weekend. If not, you guys can let me know in the comments down below. I believe it's going to be this weekend, next weekend.
And what else do we got?
And we got the home daddy of them all. This is where we're coming home to, ladies and gentlemen. This Saturday, Destination 6 presents the Impact Johnson Memorial Show, Year 2. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be a show dedicated more than ever to the kids and the family of Mike Johnson. All proceeds are going to go to the family. It's going to be a charitable show. We're going to have too many people to name on this list.
Yeah, it's a major show. That's what it's starting at, too. It might still end, at normal ending time, 10 o'clock or whatever. Let's hope that's not the case. I got to get up early. There's some football on Sunday, but it's going to be a good show. A memorable show for Mr. Impact Johnson. So head out. All the proceeds, like he said, goes to the children of Mr. Impact.
That's right, David. We're back in his house.
His A, franchise players. Say it all like that. Anyways,
You can't.
we're back.
We're back. Some great matches I want to point out for Destination 6 next week since we are going there. This is like the end of our chat. This is where we start talking about having fun. So, Reyes and Aguilera, they're having a bull rope match. They've had some heat since the first show that Destination 6 had. Who knows what's going on? That's right, Mama Impact. 2 o'clock, guys. So get there nice and early. Don't show up at 6. You might be left to clean up the place. We got Moreno and Heidi tagging up against Tab Jackson and Lucy Love. Tab Jackson, new contender, Destination 6. She's a good competitor. Lucy Love, she's still got her getting her feet wet in the game. So it might be to the advantage of the champion Heidi and Moreno in that match. How do you think?
Yeah, I'll have to go with the champion on this. What else do we got that's coming up that show?
We're also going to have a briefcase match.
Briefcase match.
We need to get filled in a little bit more about that. I can assume it's a match with a briefcase. If not 1, maybe 6.
Secure the bag, boy.
Secure the bag, boy. Get the bag boys on there to secure the bag. We got Biggie Biggs in a triple threat match. It's going to be awesome because not only is it a triple threat match, it is a hardcore triple threat match. Aiden Way versus Biggie Biggs versus Trevor Fury. If you guys seen anything from the last hardcore match, it was intense. It involved the 3 men, but this time Aiden has made it personal. He has decided to not partake in this show as a fan speculating, but rather as a competitor willing to lay down the hurt on both these men. So who knows how chaotic this will get. Rounding out, we got the match for the tag team championships. It's a triple threat tag team between Divine Intervention, who everybody manages to be sleeping on over here, the Felines, and King of Suplex.
King of Suplex, last time I saw them, they looked real strong. Both, physically and mentally. So I think KO West can pull out a win there.
You got some new champions on your mind.
I like some change. It's 2019. Happy birthday, Earth. So.
Well, I'm going to keep it evil, so I'm going to keep it Divine Intervention. They're going to retain. I don't know what's going on with you. You might have found Jesus or something. King of Soup? Oh, that's what we do. Okay, yeah. That's our boys right there going in for the win, ladies and gentlemen. What else we got going on? We got Azrael going somewhere. What's going on with him? He's got a heavyweight champion. Or he's not a heavyweight champion. Whoa, Reback. that High Desert Championship. He's got it defended against a random mystery opponent. So maybe we'll get filled in by that. We got somebody from D6 telling us about the briefcase match. Apparently, there's going to be 4 briefcases hanging from 4 corners inside the ring. That's going to be a fun little stipulation. Who can't wait to see how that goes. But a briefcase match, ladies and gentlemen. And not only a briefcase match, but there's going to be a Royal Rumble Scramble type match as well. So that's going to be fun. I can see why they'd want to make it an all-day thing. You know, we got a lot of people that...
A lot of action coming at you this Saturday. And what else do we got?
We rounded off with Richie Slade, the champion, going up against Mikey O'Shea.
Now, this is probably one of my favorite matches on the card. You know, we got Mikey O'Shea, who, as everyone knows, the Bullyzone podcast, me and him have some differences. I'm not getting into that.
Mostly weight differences, but you guys can see the other ones too.
And King of Leather, Richie Slade. Cool dude.
Cool dude.
Cool looking dude, just a cool dude overall.
He's got black leather.
Ladies want to be with him, men want to beat him.
Kids look up to
let's
him.
hope this is just a killer match. But, you know, that's D6W. Check them out if you're in the Barstow or, you know. Is that Northern California or is that still Southern California? Or is that Central California?
That's Desert,
See,
California.
Barstow? That's in that song, right? Tupac?
Yeah.
Anyways. Now, as you know, we are just coming back. Last show was September 17th. There's a lot that we didn't get a chance to talk about.
Because we got feelings about it.
You know, I just want to jump right in. You know, this is probably one of the most recent things to happen in wrestling. Priscilla Kelly with that disgusting, yucky tampon spot. Did you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes. She gave Tuna the tuna.
Gave tuna. She went diving in there, pulled out this disgusting. Yeah, wrestling's already gross enough. You're rolling around on a dirty mat. You know, there's sweat, there's spit, there's sometimes blood. You know, if you're at last night's show, you're rolling around in blood. There's 2 guys bleeding all over. I don't know what kind of disease they got. It's gross enough. You know, she must have been training with Giovanna Plowman. I don't want to see that again. You know, Dave Arquette. This made news. This was on TMZ.
Yeah,
That's where I get all my news from, TMZ.
That's the real... You don't want to listen to Fox. Fox News is a bunch of lies, but TMZ, they know what they're talking about. They got cameras.
Yeah. I don't want to think about that. I don't want to look at it. I can never... Yeah.
But do you think that's how people feel when they first saw Joey Ryan pull a lollipop out of his oiled up device? Because, you know, in the beginning of the match, he puts oil down there, so you can only imagine on top of the sweat and everything else.
I'd rather have a lollipop. That's sweet. It's probably got some flavor to it.
Ooh.
You know, a blood tampon, that's just... we're probably going to lose viewers after this, so let's move on.
Flavor's flavor, baby.
Yeah. Oh, you know, cleanse, sana.
USA.
You know, this was pretty big news in the wrestling community. I just wrote it down as the Mexican cinder block spot. You know,
Which happened to be in Puerto Rico.
Was it Puerto Rico?
Or there are Puerto Rican wrestlers in Mexico, Mexican wrestlers in... Yeah. Ooh.
Cinder block spot. If you don't know, it must have been a hardcore death match or whatever.
Yes.
You know, one guy basically trying to murder his opponent.
If you guys watch wrestling, you guys know that, you know...
It's dangerous.
Yeah, it's really dangerous, and you shouldn't throw a cinder block at somebody who's not expecting it.
There's hardcore matches and there's death matches, but I don't want a death in a match, if you catch my drift. And that's pretty much the closest, you know, we've got this year because of that. So you know.
Yeah, he had a blood clot in his head that had to be removed that night, or else he would have died. Like,
did you ever see it just happened, Killer Cross? You know, it was on Impact. He punched a cinder block on a guy's face.
Yes.
You know, if that happened to Killer Cross, he would have just turned around, busted that cinder block open. You know, I think that what makes it different. The guy that he punched the cinder block on was looking at him. He knew what was happening.
Oh, no, he didn't.
I'm saying he was facing him. He might have been knocked out, but still, he probably was awake. You know, because you have a guy holding the cinder block right there. So that doesn't make it a crime versus, you know, this Puerto Rican spot. The guy's...
Oh, okay, yeah, I get it. I had it backwards. Okay,
if you throw the object, I think that's what makes it assault.
Yes, and then it's...
Killer Cross didn't punch. I think it was Trevor Lee. He punched a cinder block. That just happened to be by his face.
Yeah, it was beyond his control.
You know, he was like, I'm punching this so I don't hurt you. So, you know, Mexico, that's a whole different ballpark. or Puerto Rico, even especially Puerto Rico. That's a whole different.
That's its own island right there.
Exactly. There's been like wrestling murders that happened there. Bruiser Brody. That's read up on your history. If you don't know Bruiser Brody, coming for you, boy.
I'm getting the chop.
I want to talk about NXT UK, but we already talked about it. Like I said before, they're speaking English, but they're off. I'll get that American lingo now.
Yeah, aren't they Englishmen? They should know English, right? I mean, it just makes sense.
Yeah,
If
the number one language in America is, English, and we have more people than them, you would think that they would be speaking our dialect. It just makes sense.
But this isn't a world that makes a bunch of sense all the time, unfortunately. We have to roll with the punches.
The world is, 2019 years old. You'd think people would know this by now.
Or maybe you have to wait till 2020. You know how dumb these fans can be sometimes. They have to be fed stuff.
I had it here. Is NXT UK just going to be NXT for NXT? How NXT is NXT for the main roster? So you're going to go
Like a
NXT
subdivision.
to NXT
to Americano.
to Raw or SmackDown. If so, that's got to be like 6 years just before you get on the main roster.
And by then, you're 30. You ain't getting a championship. You're going to be the next Heath Slater, baby.
If you didn't know,
About to fill that slot.
Walter made his debut, after the main event of NXT UK Takeover Blackpool. That's the whole title of the show. That's a mouthful. Like Roadblock.
Just imagine how they say it. Ugh.
I was gonna try it, but I don't have my teeth messed up.
Ugh, the blokes.
Are you gonna try to tune in for NXT UK?
I'll give it a chance. You know what I mean? I can't really hate on it because you could always put the subtitles on, and it sounds better. Muted.
Probably just says wrestling in English.
Yeah, exactly.
But
I got my closed captions in English, Americano style, so I'll give it a try.
Yeah, we'll give it a try. I just want to see good wrestling. So if they can bring that, I won't hate too much. WWE was in some hot water, in their dealings with Saudi Arabia.
Yes.
I think they're just going there to try to help out. They saw what Trump was able to do with North Korea. He went over there. He was shaking hands with Kim Jong-head, whatever. He got a fresh cut, though, Kim Jong-un.
Looking nice, looking sharp.
Yeah, speaking of fresh cuts, Saudis they got enough money to bring Shawn Michaels out of retirement. And I think he just took it, not for the money, but show off his fresh cut. If you weren't aware, he had a nice fresh fade or whatever.
Looking good, he may have lost that ponytail, but he still got that swag on him.
Oh, yeah, he... I don't know.
Still a sexy boy.
Sexy boy. They had a contract with Saudi Arabia, so, it's only right that they, fulfilled their commitment with Saudi Arabia. Probably boarded their private jet, flew over there, stayed in a fancy 5-star spot, because they got money over there. Saudi Arabia.
Yes.
As much as some of these restaurants are like, no, I don't want to go. Wink, wink. I don't want to go there, wink, wink.
But if I have to, I guess if Vince is making me, I guess I'll have to go. And yeah, dude, Brown nosing at his best, That's how I felt about a lot of the guys that showed up at the first Saudi event, the Greatest Royal Rumble.
Greatest Royal Rumble, yeah.
When there was no women allowed and all the men that went and had fun at this this immaculate coliseum, and they're like, "Oh, sorry, ladies, enjoy." And what did the ladies get? Nothing.
I think they get their own pay-per-view, so that's fine.
Yeah, but how great was that one, honestly?
I haven't had a chance to watch it.
It was
else we didn't get to,
1 out of 2 thumbs. I'll give you that. But I'll let you figure that out. I'll let you watch and catch up, and we can get into that in a later time.
Yeah, I think we're pushing on time. Brody King went to Ring of Honor. If you know Bullyzone, we're big fans of Brody King. So best of luck to Brody King in Ring of Honor. Daniel Bryan turning heel, winning the WWE Championship. Who would have thought, if you had told me 2 years ago he'd be a heel champion, world champion, I would have said, no way.
Mm.
And probably the biggest news is the startup of All Elite Wrestling, AEW. What are your thoughts on this?
I mean, it's crazy, man. They just had a press conference last Monday, so it's not even that far back. They're at the MGM Grand is where they're going to have their Double or Nothing show. It's going to be May 25th. But it coincides with WrestleMania weekend, so that's going to be something that's going to be fun, seeing how that goes along the lines. But the roster was announced so far. If you don't mind, I'm going to go off and list them. Got the Young Bucks, Adam Page, Christopher Daniels, Kaz, and Scorpio Sky, the trio.
SoCal Uncensored, baby.
You got MJF, you got Britt Baker, Joey Janela, Pac-10 from New England, which is the old England, I guess. He talks like this, so he's one of those English. You got Brandy Rhodes, who's going to be the
COO, whatever, right?
Yeah, she's got a position.
There's Stephanie McMahon.
Yep. And she's actually got a degree. She's educated in her craft, so she's not just the token character. Penelope Ford's going to be there. Billy Gunn is reported to be the only backstage producer so far, so with him behind the who knows how it's going to go down. But
yeah, Billy Gunn as a producer, the producer's role is to help, plan and book a match, plan out spots. Billy Gunn's a tag team wrestler, so I'm sure he'll put on some really good tag team matches. SoCal Uncensored, they're probably hit them and the Young Bucks. Ooh, with Billy Gunn booking, some good matches. But you get him trying to book a Cody Rhodes and a Hangman Page match. He's like, you have a partner for the match? Megan Brandy.
You can make it. We can have you going against Joey and Penelope. That'd be fun.
Exactly. But best of luck to them. Tony Khan, he's the Jacksonville Jaguars football team owner, is the backer behind AEW. So that makes me a little scared because the Jaguars, last season they went all the way to the AFC Championship, one game away from the Super Bowl. So that only tells me, this could be a hit or miss for the AEW.
Who knows if they can take it home? And they signed a 5-year contract with AEW. All these guys.
Yeah, if they're anything like the Jags, with Tony Khan running the show there, they're going to be mediocre for so long, build up, be good 1 year, and then plummet right back down.
And then it's done. It's done. That's the 5 years.
And it's rebuilding years. So I think there's a couple Jaguar players that could probably make good wrestlers. Blake Bortles, he's a big, dumb lunkhead. He's not a good football player, so maybe wrestling might be his calling.
Mm-hmm.
You got Jalen Ramsey, their cornerback. He's always running his mouth. I think maybe he can, he's a big guy. Give him a shot. Take him off the grid, iron for him in the squared circle, and let's see what magic happens.
And they got good publicity. I mean, they have a little segment that's going to be on HBO's Vice that's going to be covering the whole events, and they made a couple of special announcements, which I think shouldn't be announcements because they should be backdoor mind your business things. But I guess male and females are going to be paid equal. So I don't know how that's going to work. I guess
someone's got to do it. Not me.
Yeah. So the way I see it is you're going to be paid the same pay as a woman. So if you're going to take that L, you can have.
My company would never have to do that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't hire a woman.
No.
It's be men.
That's how wrestling should be. I know it's entertaining to have women's wrestling, but is it really entertaining to have women's wrestling? Of course it is when you have like the likes of Tessa Blanchard, but we're not lucky to have her in our grace every month. But like I said, males and females are being paid equal. They're being promoted on HBO, and apparently their wins and loss count is gonna count more than ever. So maybe they're gonna, not do the WWE thing where they're just gonna let's just book Roman and Braun and let's just book back and forth.
Let's see what they can do. Let's see if they can take what's wrong with,
They can figure out the formula
and all that and do something good. But until then, you got anything else you want to say before we sign off?
We're done, ladies and gentlemen. This has been episode 1 of the Bullyzone podcast.
Episode 1, season 2.
Players!
Next Sunday, 3 o'clock. Hit him with that.
It's your boy Lance Winters, baby.
And, it feels so good, that planned pause. Been so long. I've had a planned pause since September 17th.
You've been holding
planned pause. I've been holding that in.
Jesus Louises, you gotta let that out. Thank you guys for tuning in. We love you so much.
And I'm Austin Largo. Check us out next week, Sunday, 3 o'clock, right here, Free Admission channel, Bullyzone, Season 2. Check it.
Oh man, that's some great action.